Hello, everyone. Welcome to another joint episode for our patrons. So, thanks
Hello.
to all the patrons as always. Um, this time, we're going to look at "Bittersweet Symphony" by the Rolling Stones. No, the Verve. The reason I said the Rolling Stones is it is taken from a Rolling Stones B side, isn't it? This song.
You know the song. Which song is it?
This song, "Bittersweet Symphony." I don't know the
No, but
Rolling
which
Stones
which
song.
Rolling Stone? It's
No.
This will be the last time.
Oh, of course it
This
is.
will
Yeah.
be the last. Does it sound like Bittersweet Symphony?
Yeah, it does to me. Slow
There's
it down.
nothing like
Slow it right
Bittersweet.
down.
Okay, but do you know the story behind the the royalties, the copyright thing?
Did they not? It wasn't officially done, was it? I think did the Verve not make any money from this at all?
So what happened is the Verve, Richard Ashcroft, they'd heard an orchestral version. Okay, it was somebody called I don't remember the name, but it was somebody's orchestra. This was something that was really common in the 60s and 70s. My parents had some albums like this. That some cheap orchestra would make cover versions of popular songs, and
We had a Star
you,
Wars record when I was growing up, like that.
that's right. And sometimes, my parents would buy things by mistake, and it was like, oh, look, I got a Beatles album compilation. It's not the Beatles, it's Jeff Love Orchestra plays the Beatles or something, you know. And so there was an orchestral arrangement of this song with bells, the one that goes ding, 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 ding. And it wasn't even that. But the Verve actually requested, they actually asked the record company for permission to use it, to sample it, and they said yes. But when the record came out, the record company says, but you used it for like the whole song, and we don't agree with that. And they didn't get a penny for it. Their biggest hits, they didn't get a penny for it, and the writing credits were Jagger and Richards, and I think this guy who did the orchestral arrangement of it. And it was just a couple of years ago, in fact, that Jagger and Richards said, well, it wasn't really us that chose, it was our management that did this, and they agreed to let Richard Ashcroft and the Verve get some royalties from this song. Bittersweet Symphony is actually a much better song than what the Rolling Stones did, in my opinion. It's great. It's a great
Well,
song.
it propelled the Verve, didn't it, into making a lot of other tracks that sold very well. So they got their money.
Yeah, good band, good Britpop classic stuff. All right, so
So
we're gonna get into it.
Yeah. So John's tried to recreate the entire orchestra on a single ukulele.
Not quite, not quite.
And it sounds something like this. Cool. So, shall we get to it?
All right, so let's start with the main structure of the song. It's basically the same 4 chords repeating all the time. So we need a C chord, and we're going to move into so not without playing the actual riff first. We're just going to need the C chord, a D minor 7. So that's 0, 2, 1, 1. Okay, and then into a B flat major. So just dropping your finger on so that's going to be 3, 2, 1, 1. So drop your finger on the 4th string, 3rd fret, and then to F. All right. So when we're listening to the main riff, you're going to have okay. So that's basically the whole song, more or less. I don't think it really changes at all throughout the whole song.
Cool.
There are going to be some variations on that to try to squeeze the melody into it, but that's basically the structure. Now, the main riff, then, we've decided to do it with harmonics, or both with harmonics and plucking the notes. But it's a good way to get started. Okay, so the main riff, then. Go on then. See if you can do better than me. Go on, it's your turn. No pressure.
I'm the same. No, that's it. I didn't want you to get through it, really, but you've done it now.
It. Almost. It was still a bit clicky.
Mine's very clicky. No, I'm not going to include mine.
That's all right. No, that's good enough. That'll do. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about the artificial harmonics a little bit, because me and you are both playing this intro bit differently, both in terms of the way we play the harmonics and actually the fingering as well.
Yeah, well, it's the notes are all the same. There's just a couple of alternative fingerings there, which is worth pointing out. Okay, so the first 2 notes are natural harmonics on the 2nd and the 4th strings. 2, and then because we're moving into our next chord, then we're going to finger F and D. So that's 2nd string 1st fret and 3rd string 2nd fret. And so then we need to adjust our harmonics accordingly. So they're going to be artificial harmonics, which means plucking on 12 frets higher than the actual fretted note. Those are the artificial harmonics. Now, I do it the classical guitarist way, which is holding the harmonic with my index finger and plucking with my 3rd finger underneath. Like that. Okay, so put your finger above the fret, not on the fret, but above the fret, just touch lightly and pluck. There we go. And for those of you who watched our House of the Rising Sun video, you'll know that we've done that before. Now, Dave has a different technique. What's your technique?
So I use my index finger and my thumb. So I rest my index finger above the fret, as the same way that John does it. And then I'm actually plucking my thumb, which is quite awkward to show on camera because my whole hand goes in the way. But it's effectively like this, and then I'm not going to be able to do it because my hand is the equivalent of that.
So if I turn it, you can see that I've got my finger on the harmonic and the thumb down.
That's it. And the reason I play it that way is just that's the way I learned to play artificial harmonics, and it's sort of embedded in me. So unless I have to play it a different way, which we did have to do on House of the Rising Sun because I needed the fingers available to do something else, I almost always revert to playing harmonics that way.
That's right. Unless you have one of those super new flight Telecaster electric ukuleles, in which case you'd be able to just tap the harmonic there. But on my ukulele, it doesn't sound at all.
What do you
Just by
mean?
smacking the notes. You never seen guitarists do that, okay?
No.
No, okay. If you just smack hard down, let's say it's a natural harmonic on the 12th fret, and you just smack hard, you get
All the way?
Get the note. Yeah, all the way down. You smack the frets down onto the fretboard. No, just
And
vertically
leave it
down
on?
onto the fretboard and then off again, like that. Listen. I'll hold it up close to the microphone. You got the harmonic ring in there, so you just smack it.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to use that.
It doesn't work on you. It doesn't work on a ukulele. I was being completely facetious about the flight ukulele, but there you go. Possibly you could do it. But, cut that. Sorry,
It's quite funny. Let's leave it.
So yeah, if anyone's got electric ukulele, you can do that. All right, so that's the main riff. What are we missing? We're missing the. So when we've gone to the two notes there would be the C chord. That would F to D would be the D minor 7 chord.
Yep.
Okay, and then dropping my finger on, oops, that would be the B flat chord. Or you can fret it here on the.
Yeah, the B flat is where we differ, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I changed it from the tab. They're both perfectly okay. It's the same note. What I decided to do was just hold the B flat chord, leaving my finger off the first one. So I've got an F. I've got a B flat major 7, which I'm not going to play, but I've already got my 2 notes for the next chord, which is F in place. So while I'm plucking the harmonic here, so 15th, 5th to 13th, I can go straight to the A on the first string and play the F chords there. So A to F. So I've got them all ringing at the same time. Can you hear that?
Yeah, it's nice. It's efficient.
It's efficient, and as I say, the notes bleed into each other just a little bit more than they would the other way.
And the way I play it is I play it almost exclusively on the bottom 2 strings. So I play on the E and the A strings, and the reason is the harmonic for me just wasn't rigging out that well on the G string. So just to make it sound better, and potentially that's because I'm on a smaller scale ukulele than John. I don't know.
No, I'm concert today. I am.
Oh, you're concert today. Okay, so we're both on concerts today.
Sponsored by Baton Rouge.
Sponsored.
Thank you very much, Baton Rouge, for sending me your discontinued stock. You want this ukulele? It's a beautiful ukulele. They don't make it anymore. There you go.
I'd like to say I'm sponsored by Snail, but they seem to be a bit of a faceless business to Snail.
They're not. They're just slow at getting back to you.
No, I think they because it's because it, oh.
Did you see what I did there?
Because I think they're a Chinese business. They don't really seem to have any Western representation. So their ukes are in stores, but there's nobody to speak to or anything like that.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
But buy whatever ukulele you want. I'm not endorsing any.
Oh yeah, I'm recommending it. It's a good uke. It's a good uke. It served me well over the years. So it's not the design I would have chosen, but it's a nice sound. It's a nice uke, and it is concert size. This one. Cool. So there you go. People think that I'm playing a baritone. They don't realize how small I am. No, it's true.
I didn't want to say that's why it was.
No, seriously. The people leave comments on my YouTube and they're saying, "Oh, that's strange. I've never seen a baritone with a re-entrant tuning before."
Have you had that before?
Yeah.
Do you know what I think it is?
It's because I'm small.
No, I think it's the dark wood.
Really?
I don't. Baritones always seem to be an incredibly dark wood.
Okay. No, I've never noticed that before. But then,
yeah, like that's what I think it might be, but maybe not. I mean, why? Yeah. Anyway.
Good. Okay. So once you've done your harmonics, great. Okay. So once you've done the harmonic introduction, we can then play the same with the chords down in the first position. tune. So I'm playing the same notes, starting off with the C in the bass, which is not there in the main riff. So, but that's going to lead in with the bass to my D minor 7, to the B flat, down to F. So you can add in extra notes where you want to, just finger picking around the main melody. And you don't need to fret anything for the C because I'm only playing the 3 notes that are open. Up to the B flat and to the C. Okay.
Yep. So this is, I suppose, once you've sort of learned the intro, and this is the way I learned it. So once I'd learned the harmonics, this part's quite easy because you've done all the finger position anyway, and it's easy. It's easier than playing harmonics anyway. So
because it's just repeating. Yeah, that's right. So it's just repeating. So rather than going through bar by bar, we're just thinking about the lyrics will help you with the melody. So once you've played the riff a couple of times, we can lead in with the melody. So, and it's bittersweet. So it's going to move straight from the C. Symphony. No, symphony. That's it. Oh, it's a bittersweet symphony that's life. Back to the riff. So in fact, between every line he sings, he plays the main riff again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we're going to go da 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 to the D minor 7 to the B flat. Okay, and when we transition from the B flat to the F, we've got a little bit of discordance there. Can you hear that? Because I'm playing the note A in the F chord and just leading into the F chord, I'm still playing notes of the B flat chord. So we've got just very quickly. And that I had a little bit of difficulty with that when I was tabbing it. I was trying to find the right place for the note, but it's definitely like that. Okay, we've got the nice structure of the chord changes, so very, but the melody just lags a little bit behind. So you'll see that in the tab. To the F, but with the note B flat still holding there, and then coming off. Back into the main riff. Okay, is that how you had it, or do you have a slightly different interpretation to me on that?
I've sort of almost entirely missed the melody of this one while I've been playing it. So what I didn't do for anybody learning this is I didn't think about this with the melody. I wasn't thinking about the lyrics while I was playing it. So I was literally just playing through the tab. And I can play the tab. I can play through most of the tab quite comfortably. But I wasn't hearing the melody as I was playing it, and I wasn't thinking about lyrics. So don't do what I did. Don't miss that. Do try and keep that in. So we're saying the melody starts at the end of bar 8. So now, that's my tip to you. Don't do what I did.
Now this is the big danger when you're playing with high G as well, is that the melody gets lost because you don't have the range to have an accompaniment which is like in the at the lower ends, like on the guitar you'd have much more bass notes to play an accompaniment, and I'm also using the 4th string as part of the melody, and it does disappear into the chords. Al Wood will say exactly the same thing over at Ukulele Hunt, that when he's done his arrangements, he's explaining what he's done. Very often he says it was just so difficult to keep the melody away from the accompaniment. So you have to think about that and just change your dynamics, because we can just go through the chords, C, D minor, B flat, F, but then pluck in a little bit harder so we know we're into the melody.
Yeah. So 100%, 100%. I've missed it, and I've been as I've been learning it, I've been sort of humming along to the orchestral arrangement, just thinking, oh, I've got this. This is really good, and I've
Mm,
lost the melody completely. And because I've not been thinking about it, I've just been sort of humming in my head. I've been humming that orchestral arrangement, and I've totally
mm,
lost the melody. So yeah, that's a really good tip. And for the first time live as we're doing this,
mm.
as I've gone through bar 8, 9, and 10, I'm actually playing it with the intent of creating a melody, and I hadn't been doing that. So
So
that's quite
so
interesting.
so yeah, it's try singing along with it as well. And I think that's really not to the songwriter's credit as well, because a lot of modern songs, the melody is only based on the notes in the chord anyway, which doesn't make for great songwriting, to be honest with you. If you compare, what the Beatles did, or other great songwriters, they had much stronger melodies to work with than songs that are just based around the notes in the chord.
Yeah.
Um, and I was having a bit of a debate with my wife because I was learning a Beatles song, from Hard Day's Night, early Beatles song, which changed keys in the first 4 bars before it in the intro. It changes keys before he gets into the verse. My wife says, "What about the Rolling Stones? They wrote great songs as well." I says, "Well, tell me some of the Rolling Stones songs that you like." And I says, "But," and I listened to them, and there wasn't anywhere near the same level of like songwriting skills, even though the Rolling Stones wrote some fantastic songs. But they didn't modulate into other keys, well, not very often. They didn't. It's based on interesting chords. It was always the same sort of rock and roll blues chords. Be careful when you're playing an instrumental arrangement. The arrangement that I've got there works very well if you want to sing it, because you've got that riff behind you. So if you want to sing it, well, it's a bittersweet symphony that's life. You can just play it, and you've got a nice accompaniment as well. But you can find the melody; it is in there somewhere. Just got to get it. You just got to
That's what
find
I
it.
need to do. That's what I need to do. Yeah, I'd got a really nice version going, but I'd lost it. So yeah, I need to work at bringing that melody out really when I'm playing. And it's about, to me, I'm playing the notes because I'm playing it pretty much bang on the tab. So this
Yeah.
is about dynamics.
Mm.
It's about me backing off a little bit on the accompaniment and just making that melody ring out a little bit louder.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now in my arrangement, then it's just 4 times the same thing, except for 1 bar. That's over in bar 18. And again, this is just just a little embellishment. I think it's bar 18, where I'm
Yeah,
bringing up my little
that's
finger.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know if that's in exactly the right place where it should be, but I know that Richard Ashcroft inserts an extra note every now and again.
Okay.
All right, and that's it. So it just repeats all the way through, but that time then, so bar 18. So back into riff. Okay, good. Now that's the verse done.
Yep.
So just repeat that 4 times with that extra note there in one of the repetitions, or as many times as you want. I'll give you a little bit of a creative license. Now, would you say this song has a chorus? Or is it sort of like, part A, part B, not really a chorus?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say it has really. Would you?
No, no, I wouldn't call it a chorus. Okay, but it's so the structure stays exactly the same. But then, so after we've done that, the part that goes, what are the lyrics? I don't remember. I can't change. I can't
Yes.
change. I
Yeah.
can't change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So moving into the next section then, where we're still at this, the chords. The chord structure is exactly the same, but we've got different notes in the melodies, and so that's going to give different qualities to our chords. So I'm going to go into C, and this time I'm holding the note G on the second string, into what would be just a simple G5 chord.
Yep. Got that.
Okay, and I can then keep that note G in the melody, And to change the flavor of that G chord to the B flat, I'm going to drop my finger onto the note B flat on the 4th string. All right, and then down into the F chord. All right, and we've got exactly the same chords. If I was strumming the chords, it would just be C. So you hear that note running all the way through. Can you hear that?
Yeah, okay.
Down to the note F in the F chord.
Got it.
Okay, and
Cool.
then the next part, then the melody moves up to this B flat. So we've got the B flat in the C chord, so it becomes a C7. Now I'm not missing anything, am I? Let's just do that again. Yeah, that's right. So C7, play with the note E afterwards. So you put the note E twice.
Yep.
Into my D minor 7, and then B flat the same. And this time, because I'm holding the B flat chord, I still want the note E, so I'm going to play on the 4th string with my little finger. Okay, it sounds a bit weird.
It does sound a bit weird.
It sounds a bit weird, but
when I was playing through the tab, I was like, that is a standout bit where it sounds a little bit odd to me.
And so it's the same melody, and that's good songwriting this time, because he's holding the melody over different chords, so that gives you a different flavor. It's really nice. When you put it all together, you'll hear it doesn't sound too dissonant.
Yeah,
because
agreed.
we're resolving back into that F.
Yep.
All right, and then the next time it's a bit more repetition. So now I'm holding still my C chord. Now I'm holding the C and the G.
Yep.
Play that twice. Oops. Now let's just see if I can remember how to do that again. Okay, so the same chords. Now that gives me now a G minor without the G minor 7 because I'm holding the 2 Gs here. And this time then I'm going to go back to what would have been my B flat chord, but now I'm holding the note G at the same time.
Yep.
So that in reality that gives me, it's still, yeah, it's the B flat with the G note in it. Yeah, so la 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 la.
Cool.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Same chord.
It's probably worth me saying that bar 29, where we are picking. This is actually quite a hard picking technique, I find, when you're plucking top 2 strings and the bottom string, and you're missing out the E string. I need a little bit of practice in that, actually.
Or don't do it. It does require a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do it. You can pluck the whole chord.
Pluck the whole chord. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. That's the way I've indicated it in the tab.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do it like that. But you don't have to. You can just play the whole C7 chord with the note here, or you can play the 2 notes together. Because that changes nothing. You've already got a G. There are 2 Gs.
Yeah,
it
it's still in
absolutely
there.
nothing. Changes nothing at all.
That's quite useful because I think that is quite hard to. It's quite hard to pick like that.
Okay, now just for economy of movement as well, and I've been reading the tab and not really thinking about what
You're
I'm
going to
playing.
say that you should be playing the G note with your pinky finger at this point. I'm going to.
You certainly
guess.
can. Well, that would make it easier. So you can try it like that. So I'm holding it like this. And then dropping my little finger on, rather than taking my fingers off and rearranging.
I thought you were going to say actually use your pinky finger on the G note here.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's another good way of doing it. That's
just so that when you finally end up, you're in that B flat in a more comfortable position.
Yeah.
Horses for courses, though, isn't it? Yeah, they both work.
it's just kind of like displacing the efforts where the effort it would be perhaps to find that shape with your little finger, which is not
Yes, yeah.
natural. Okay, and mine is that I find the easy way is to hold the G minor chord and then drop the little finger in. So that's perhaps uncomfortable for a lot
Which
of people. That
that's a
shape,
good point though. It's a
you
good
know.
point because I always revert to what is the most natural for me. So that's when I've got a couple of choices like that. There are a few ways I
Mm,
can finger it. It
yeah.
just comes down to which one do I find the easiest to do. That's the one I'm going to go with.
Which folks, you ask me this all the time. Why do you not put right or left hand fingering
Yep.
positions on your tabs? And I say, well, everybody has their own way of playing it, and it can be distracting. And for the for the real musicians who don't use the tab, when you've got just a stave with lots of numbers for fretting hands, um, it makes the notation look messy as well. And as a majority of musicians are just going to ignore those anyway, that's why I don't put them on. So it's a good point that you've raised.
And you'll see, you
Mm,
hopefully you'll have seen from these lessons that quite often we play things a little bit differently or certain sections differently, and that
mm.
John's is probably usually better than mine, but mine is just I find it easier in a certain way. I think John's got better dexterity in his little finger than I have, so I often avoid mine.
Yeah, you. Yeah, well, it's a question of practice as well. But again, even if it requires more effort, at the end of the day, use your little finger when you need to, because it can help you to be more
Yep.
economical with your movement as well, instead of jumping around. There are brilliant guitarists who only use two fingers. Django Reinhardt only had two fingers because he burned the others.
Yeah.
You can see what he did. A lot of blues guitarists will only use three fingers, never use their little finger. But if you can, then use it. And so, the ukulele is such a small instrument, then you can do massive stretches with your little finger, all the way up to the seventh fret. Um, um,
Yeah, you've got
even
that over
even
the
for
guitarists out there.
exactly, exactly. Right. Good. Um, and that's just bringing the tab back up. So where were we? Okay, so little finger back to F. And that's how it ends.
Well,
So a bit like the first part.
yeah, really similar.
And then just filling in with the final F chord. And we'll go back into the riff. La, 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 la. And if you want to, go back to the harmonies. Oh, you see, I'm more comfortable now. I can do it like even
I
without
got into
looking.
the groove.
Just it takes me a little bit of time to warm up. You see, I can do it without looking now.
Oh, I can't do harmonics without looking.
There you go. All right. So yeah, so you can do it like that. Okay. And that's basically it. Part A, part B, and the main riff. The main riff, which runs through the whole song. In the arrangement that I did some years ago, 3 or 4 years ago now, I shifted the whole arrangement up an octave. It's really, really hard. I can't play it on my tenor because the stretches are long. So for the advanced players, the tab is going to be available, but I'm not going to explain it. Well, we're not going to explain it now because I think that
I will add reference to the beautiful 13/5 stretch that John's got in one part, just for a single note, so you don't have to be there long. But that's
yeah,
going to be a challenge for.
and there are alternative ways of fingering that. Okay, that's how I played it. So yeah, so we're good moving up. There. Okay,
Nice.
so it's an F chord with that B flat. So yeah, you have a look at that. God knows how many takes it took me to get that when I recorded it. So it was really hard.
It's
And
interesting. My son was saying to me the other day that when he has to record anything, he said, "Why do you just get it wrong every time you try and record?" I said, you'll get used to that. There's just something psychologically impact of pressing record on anything, and it suddenly becomes really, really difficult.
um, it's the same for playing in front of a live audience as
Yeah,
well. So the I sometimes looking back at what I did when I was young, I can't believe that I actually did that. That I had the nerve, which thinking about it now was pure stupidity, to actually have the nerve to get up in front of people and play like the most difficult pieces that I knew. Um, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it. But it's just a question of practice, getting
Yeah,
that
yeah.
muscle memory going. I'm just like you. I go to pieces when I switch the microphone on now.
It's so strange. It's so strange. The other week I was playing a couple of your tabs actually, and for about an hour in the morning I'd been just playing around with them, or to the point where I can play them really without even looking at all.
Mm.
I thought, oh, I've got them down really well. I'll hit the record button now. Couldn't do them. I didn't even get a take out of it. I didn't get a
Yeah.
single take. I gave up in the end. I thought it's not working. Let's come back to it later.
Which tab was it? Out of interest.
I think I was trying to do Humors of Glendart for sure.
Okay.
What's that one?
That's the Irish washerwoman.
Yeah, Irish Washerwoman as
That
well.
was
Yeah,
the lesson we did.
yeah, but I think it might have been. I think it was before the lesson. I was going to do a
Right.
recording, and
Yeah.
I make a thing of practicing without looking as well at my fretboard when I've got a song relatively good. I try not to look at all. And I had them down. I was playing them. Yeah, just couldn't record them at all.
No, it happens. It happens. Yeah, we just don't have the opportunities to practice as much as we should. So
Cool. So that's it for another lesson. Let us know how you get on. Please, somebody send us a video. We'd love to see you playing this. And yeah, my tip to you on this one is don't do what I did and just sort of bypass the melody completely. Although you can do it. Actually, I've got quite a nice backing track for Bittersweet Symphony that I can play. And one of the things I will say about this arrangement is the way I was playing it, bypassing the melody. There's quite a lot of freedom. You don't have to follow the tab exactly. This is quite a simple one to just bypass the tab a little bit once you've got the basics down, and just play around with it a little bit.
yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of repetition here, and John, to his credit, has tried to make it quite a few variations in a lot of those repetitions. But you can kind of do what you want around those main chords, and it's going to come through this song quite well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Okay. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoy learning it. It's a nice tune.
Cool. Thank you. Until next time, everyone.
All right. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.